Did you know that the single biggest occupant in American landfills is wasted food? Around 50% of all produce in the US is thrown away. That's 60 million tons, worth around $160 billion. People throw away food for all sorts of reasons, mainly because food is cheaper in the US than almost anywhere else, but also because people are picky about how their food looks. If you know what to look for, however, you're more likely to pick food that you'll enjoy and you can avoid the bad stuff. Let's try and reduce this waste by taking a look at some tips on how to pick the best food and avoid the worst. Potatoes. The humble potato is one of the world's most popular vegetables because, well, who doesn't love french fries and hash browns? But when potatoes go bad, they can go really bad. Just ask the Irish, who suffered and died in the millions because of a mold-related potato famine in the 1840s. So how can you tell if a potato is on the brink of badness? Look out for bruising, soft patches, and cuts that haven't healed over. Avoid any potatoes that are green or sprouting. Though these aren't signs they're poisonous, they may add a bitter flavor to your spuds. The best tasting potatoes are firm all over. If you're sweet on potatoes, you probably like sweet potatoes too. The smaller and darker skinned a sweet potato is, the sweeter and creamier it will taste. If your sweet potato is more orange than the president, it's probably delicious. A dark orange color will mean that it's loaded with beta-carotene, a natural precursor to vitamin A. You should avoid pale sweet potatoes with cuts and bruises. Cold also tends to ruin their flavor and texture, so don't put them in the fridge. Jicama. This is a root vegetable that's not quite as common as the potato, but can be just as delicious. Also known as Mexican yam bean or Mexican turnip, jicama has an inedible skin that contains a sweet, crunchy, pale flesh that tastes somewhere between an apple and a potato. To find the tastiest tuber, look for small to medium-sized roots, as jicama's flavor tends to dissipate as it grows larger, becoming slightly tougher and less crispy. Look out for wet spots and holes on the skin, as they may be a sign of interior rot. As with potatoes, pick one that's firm all over. The tasty root can be eaten raw and tastes great with chili powder, saw juice, and lime. Honeydew Melon. Time to go from roots to fruits. The argument over which melon is best, honeydew or cantaloupe, will never be over. Honeydew melons are from West Africa and have been eaten for over 4,000 years. If you're trying to find a ripe one, you'll need to check the rind. At the risk of looking like a lunatic, you need to rub the rind. If it's slippery, smooth, and makes a squeaking noise, it's good. Always check for bruises or brown spots, and if it looks like this, give it a miss. Instead of brown spots, look for little freckles, which are signs of sweetness. Push gently on the stem end, and if it bounces back, you've picked a winner. Be sure to wash the outside before you dig in, as melon skins can carry salmonella bacteria. Apricots. If you thought 4,000 years was a long time in the history of fruit, apricots have been around for so long that nobody knows where exactly they're from, though many suspect Armenia. Today's apricots come mainly from Turkey, and they're related to peaches, plums, almonds, and cherries. But picking out an apricot is different from choosing a cherry. Here's what to look for. A ripe apricot will be slightly soft, neither hard nor squishy, and should smell sweet. Dark, reddy orange skin indicates ripeness, while any wrinkles on the skin will mean that the fruit is dry. Steer clear of bruised or discolored fruit, as they could be rotten inside. Apricots get moldy fast if they're wet, so don't wash them until you're ready to eat them. Fruit hybridizers have also created a purple or black apricot, so don't be scared if you see one of these odd-colored cuts in the fruit section. Pomegranate. Pomegranates can be pretty difficult to handle, although knife-savvy specialists can make the process look effortless. One pomegranate tree can live for 200 years and produce 30 to 40 kilograms of fruit a year. The best fruit comes late in the season, which is September to November, so grab them while you can. Look for color first. Too much yellowness indicates that the fruit isn't ripe. Vividly ruby-colored pomegranates are the sweetest, and the ripest fruits will be smooth, plump, and should feel heavy. Scratches or dents won't affect the inside, so don't judge the ugly ones. Some pomegranates aren't even red, like the Gainy sweet variety. So good luck with the peeling process. If you can make them look like this, then you're probably cheating. Grapefruit. The grapefruit originated in Barbados as the result of an accidental genetic cross between two introduced species, the sweet orange and the pomelo. When first found, it was nicknamed the forbidden fruit. Weight is one of the best indicators of grapefruit ripeness and juiciness, so if it's difficult to carry, it's probably good. Rich colors like pink or deep red are also good ripeness indicators. Crucially, you should examine your grapefruit for holes. Microorganisms can enter holes and cause some gross-looking diseases. One is citrus canker, a bacterial disease that causes scabby lesions. Grapefruits also contain an organic compound that blocks enzymes that normally help your body break down certain medications, and this can lead to medication levels becoming toxic, so be careful about choosing grapefruit juice in the morning. Asian pears. If your doctor says no to citrus, try an Asian pear. It's not hard to guess where this pear comes from. What's not as easy to guess is the fruit's family tree. Believe it or not, it's a relative of the rose. Much rounder and crispier than other pears, eating an Asian pear is more like eating an apple. The darker, richer colored fruit will taste better. Bruises are a sign the fruit is overripe. But don't worry about freckles. This is called russeting, and it's a sign that the fruit is ready to be eaten. Avocado. Now for the pear that's famed for bankrupting millennials everywhere. It's the trusty avocado. While avocados are a tasty addition to bagels and brunches, they shouldn't be left lying around near stables. Horses are dangerously allergic to avocados, as well as the leaves and bark on avocado trees. Consider yourselves warned, Californian ranchers. Ripe Hass avocados are dark green and have thick, rough skin. But remember, you want it to be dark green, not completely black. Otherwise, it's overripe. Apply even force to it with your whole hand instead of pressing it with your thumb. If it gives a little, then it's ripe. Next, take a peek under the stem. Look for one that comes off easily and still looks green underneath. Scars or black marks on the outside won't affect the fruit's flavor, although indentations or flat spots could mean your avocado is rotten inside. Shape isn't always important, but if any part of the skin gives way too easily, that avocado is toast. Eggplant. Another fruit masquerading as a vegetable is the eggplant, or aubergine. It's not just a suggestive emoji. The eggplant is technically a berry. The most common variety is the bulbous globe eggplant, which is purple, shiny, and delicious if cooked right. But eggplants be warned, this is a thrip, a tiny creature to which all eggplants are susceptible. It can cause direct damage to the crops, or it can cause wounds on the fruit that let other infections in. A good eggplant will have smooth, unblemished skin and look dark purple. It'll also be firm to the touch. As a general rule, the smaller the eggplant, the fewer the seeds it will have, and the less bitter it will taste. Browning near the cap, bruises, or wet spots could be a sign of rot, so you'll have to caress your eggplant before you make any choices. Tomatillos. Green isn't the best color for an eggplant, but it's excellent for a tomatillo. Tomatillos are the green fruit that gives salsa verde its tangy flavor. They're sometimes called Mexican husk tomatoes for their leafy-looking outer husk. When it comes to color, this is the kind of green you want, but the one on the left was picked too late. There's also a purple variety, which would make your salsa verde, well, not very verde, hombre. A ripe tomatillo will be firm, with the husk hugging the fruit closely. You should feel the fruit through the husk for any bumps or cracks, or you might end up with this. When it's unwrapped, the tomatillo will be a little sticky, but that stickiness should wash off pretty easily. So if you want to make a killer tostada, tomatillo salsa is what you're after. Kiwi fruit. The husk of a tomatillo isn't edible, but the skin of this next fruit is. The kiwi fruit is covered in a hairy outer layer that's harmless to eat. There's even a bite-sized variety called the hardy kiwi. It may look like New Zealand's unofficial mascot, but kiwis are actually from China. A good kiwi should be oval and about the size of a chicken egg. If the kiwi smells sweet, that's a good sign. Acidic odor or no odor means the fruit's gone bad. Soft spots and wrinkles might be good qualities for a grandma, but not for a kiwi. Ripe kiwi should yield to a gentle squeeze. Picked right, the kiwi is a delicious treat that mixes well with other summer flavors. Mango. Now this may sound nuts, but the mango is actually a relative of the cashew. With mangoes, color is key. The Altafo mango or honey mango is entirely yellow when ripe and should be an overall golden color. The Tommy Atkins variety is best when it has a bright red blush. The one on the left here is not ready yet, but the right one definitely is. And the middle choice is up to you. Both varieties of mango should be firm, but give a little when pressed. Beware of black spots and sunken lesions, because they're signs of infection. The stem end should smell like the fruit, so if you don't mind being known as the weirdo who goes around sniffing mangoes in the produce aisle, this tip is for you. Watermelon. The watermelon is one of the most desirable fruits in the produce aisle, but not a lot of people know the amazing secret behind picking a good one. Their fruit is usually red on the inside, but strangely there are a few yellow varieties. These alternative versions are sweeter than their red flesh cousins. If you're in the market for the traditional red version, you could go around the store smacking the melons to listen for juice content. But there's a much easier way to select the best and sweetest watermelon. Look for the big yellow spot. This is the side of the melon that was resting on the ground and didn't get as much sun. But it's a telltale sign that the watermelon was ripened in a field instead of in a warehouse. You should also check the watermelon for any cracks or gouges. If you see something like this, don't worry, it's not alien graffiti. This watermelon has been infected with watermelon mosaic virus. The virus is spread by aphids and usually causes deformity in the leaves and young fruit. As weird as this disease looks, you can still eat the inside of the fruit without getting sick, although I still think you're at risk of alien abduction. Strangely, watermelons that are adorned with flawless rinds are generally not the ones to go for. If a melon is devoid of webbing, then it means that the fruit probably did not receive enough pollination. Though this won't necessarily result in an inedible watermelon, it could mean that your fruit won't be as sugary sweet as it should be. Are there any other amazing produce secrets you know about? And have you ever eaten a poisonous pear? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.